Um, Sorry, I did make one mistake here. I forgot that white plays right here earlier. Um, I'm sure you noticed that when white took that I said black had to make the eye, but it seemed like black could actually just play right here to capture the stone. Well, white had actually already played here earlier. So, in case you were wondering about that. Anyways, black now plays here because if white gets a move, like say around here, this group will be cut off and it'll die. So he needs to connect to his stones on the other side. This is also threatening a cut for white, so he needs to block it. And there's no way for white to disconnect these stones. You can read it out if you want to. So black is now going to take Sente, and he's going to do a little bit of a Tessigi down here, which is very nice. It's very nice timing because this kind of move is Aji Keishi. It gets rid of the pretty much all the Aji in this area. So black really needs to be sure what he's doing here. Now the reason why this is nice, even though he's getting rid of all of the Aji, is right in here the only option for white is doing this. If the Atari is over this way, these stones over here are going to die. So he needs to Atari this way. The reason why this is so nice is because all of this is Sente. All of this right here. Also, white can't make this extension anymore. Earlier he could have, but now black can just cut him off, and this is Sente because otherwise these groups will die, so he'll have to capture. This stone will be lost. So the farthest he can go now is right here. So it's very nice that black made this right now. And now he takes Sente and he goes ahead and excuse me. Sorry. He goes ahead and invades. So if you look at the board right now, there's really only about two places for black to do anything. It's either to invade here or here, because these are the most open part of the board. Pretty much everywhere else is pretty much settled. If you made some type of move around here, that'd be slow. Also, this invasion, black is a little bit stronger over here than invading right here, so this is better to invade this way. I'm not completely certain why he chose to do one space farther from this stone. It may be because he's trying to do something maybe later with this corner, with something in here, which he actually makes this move later. I'll show you. But right here, white does something very nice, and he attaches right here. Now, the reason this is so nice is because it threatens two different things. Either he's going to connect under to this stone, or he's going to make this group live. So really black gets to choose. And black just calmly makes a tiger's mouth. This gets rid of the connection underneath, and it also solidifies him in here so there's a lot less Aji. So then white just extends, so he chooses to live in there. There's some Aji with this cut right here, so black reduces the liberty of white's first and gets rid of his eye space. And then he needs to connect. You can read it out for yourself, but white can escape if he doesn't connect. So then right here, white does something very nice. I'm sure all of you would probably think the next move was this one, which it isn't. It's actually this move. The reason I say this is so nice is because, as you'll see in a minute, when you play the variation out, all of these moves are Sente, because black has to connect these groups, or it'll really be game over. He'll lose all those stones. And what he does is, you can read this all out for yourself, but I'm going to tell you why it's so nice. For one, like I just said, it's all in Sente. And two, he's really solidifying himself here. Now here, black has to make this move. If he tries to make any other move, unless it's this move, which he can make, but if he makes, say, this move for instance, which looks kind of strange, I know. This move looks kind of strange, but it's actually a necessity. Because, let's say he made this for instance. First, white can play this way. Then white will fill in this in, and as you can see, black has 1, 2, 3, and white has the 3, but white has one Sente move. So now white can capture all the stones, and this would be horrible for black. He would totally lose the game. So obviously black can't play this way. So to get rid of that, he connects right here. Then white connects right here, and black takes one of the liberties away. Hope I didn't put anything wrong here. Okay, everything's good. So yeah, like I said, the reason this is so nice is because all of this is now connected. It's extremely strong. Black was reduced in Sente, and now white can come back and live. I think this is almost one of the favorite parts of the game for me, that white was able to see that all these moves are Sente, that black only had that one liberty, and he did all this in Sente, made all of this strong, and I really like that about this game. So, right here, it is black's turn. He makes this move. It's going to look a little strange because you might think white can do this, but actually he can't, because if white chooses to capture the stone, black can just go over. And then black is very strong outside, the Aji all here is gone, and white still needs to come back to connect his stones up. So really white sacrificed giving black all this strength and getting all the Aji in this area just to solidify his corner and get this one stone. And he ends in Gote. So this would really not be good for white to play this way. So one thing I know I wonder about every once in a while is why when black guitar is this way, why not just capture directly? Then black doesn't get this move Sente. The reason why not is because black will immediately go here. And unless you want to play Ko and you know you have more Ko threats than your opponent, you'll have to connect. Then your opponent can connect. You're going to have to deal with making this group live and dealing with this side. So it's almost never correct to capture just the stone and allow black to make this Ko. You almost always want to just connect here and then capture the stone. So in the game, white made this Nobi, which is nice because then all the Ajis here are gone. Later he can play here, or here even. So right here, black just jumps out, getting rid of the Aji, making this all bigger. And then white right here, he just makes a double extension off of his stone. This is the big part on the board. It gives him some points. It makes a little more Aji in the center later. And so black gets rid of a little bit of Aji with by taking this stone. Also getting a lot of points in this corner. And then white makes a pretty nice move, which is this one to try to disconnect these stones. Which is always nice. You always want to keep groups disconnected because then you can make them run and then gain something from it. So this is the red earring move. This is the move that really is the highlight of the game and is one of the best moves in the history of Go. And when you look at it right away, it might look very strange, but I'd like you just to look at it for a second. It's this move. Do you see why this move is so good? So the reason why is a whole variety of things. So the first thing you need to think about is think about the thickness white had. So just like Moyo or whatever else, you want to reduce it. So with thickness, to reduce it, you put stones in your opponent's area where the thickness is at. So this stone reduces white's thickness, 1. 2, black doesn't really have any stones in the center. So if he tried to invade here without a stone, he wouldn't have anything to run towards. So with this stone, now an invasion becomes a little bit easier. It also makes a push down easier, because now he has something to gain off of in the center. Also, it brings strength to this group right here if it wants to run out. And it also expands his Moyo on the top side. So this is why this move is so good. And the reason why it's called a red earring move is because when Inseki saw this, his ears turned red because he was so upset, I guess, about the move and how good it was. So after this, black goes ahead and makes a very big move, and this move, which is also sent to because black doesn't want the stone to get connected under, so he's gonna block it. And so now white's just going to try to expand his Moyo while reducing this in here. Very simple. And so black's gonna try to reduce what white is trying to do with a press down. This is a nice way a lot of times to reduce. If you know you can't invade, just a press down like this. Or actually, my first instinct is always to go like this, because I'm thinking, okay, my opponent's giving me territory, go ahead and let him. But he played this move, which I'm not really sure what the difference is. In case you're wondering, I'm sorry I don't, but I'm not completely sure why you'd want to make this move over this move in this situation, because usually the only time I make this move is when I'm trying to surround him, which you can't do in this case. But in the game he makes this move, which I'm sure there's a reason for. If you do have the answer, please tell. Then white goes under. Black makes the jump out, which is a nice shape move. And then white goes ahead and makes, I think, a very nice move. Because he's starting to see what black is starting to gain in the center. Also, he's trying to cut off this stone while pressing this stone down to try to get rid of the Moyo in here. And it's going to be very hard for black to try to kill this stone because white's strong here, has some stones here and here. So I think this is a very nice move. So black goes ahead and makes sure there's no Aji here. He just connects his stones, make sure they're not going to die. And so white goes ahead, puts pressure on these stones while strengthening this one. It's always a good thing when you're attacking to make yourself stronger while you're doing it also. So black pushes out, and white goes ahead and connects his stones. Black does the same also. So this is pretty equal. White gets to reduce this, black gets to reduce this. They're all connected up. And so now white goes ahead and tries an invasion. But black doesn't actually respond to it, which is very nice. Myself included, a lot of Q players just respond a lot to whatever their opponent makes. But it's always good to think of the value of your moves, and especially when you're good at counting, which I'm not. You can gauge the value of certain moves. And black right here played here, which at least when I look at it, I think it's worth more to take this stone, because then you also have this disconnection. So white kind of has to respond to this, whereas if black loses this stone, or there's something that happens in the corner, it's not as big as losing like this whole group. So this is also a very nice move, and a very nice example that you never want to just respond to everything your opponent does. Also, there's things called exchanges, where you can give your opponent one thing and then you take another. That's also a possibility. But white right here goes ahead and tries to surround this stone and kill it. And black doesn't allow that. He goes ahead and connects. This also brings more Aji with a cut in here maybe later, which he goes ahead and exploits right away. And then black just makes his stone stronger, makes this point nice later for both players. White goes ahead, strengthens himself, makes sure he's like connected up here, because he's not completely safe in here yet. And then black tries to disconnect him, white tries to push up into his moyo, and black cuts him. So, from here on out, it's a little bit complicated, so forgive me if I make some type of mistake in what I'm saying or anything. And then after that it'll be endgame. So, most of what I wanted to go over in this game is about over, but I think there's still a few other things I can go over. So I'll go ahead and go over the last bit of the game. So, black goes ahead, reduces his thickness more, and then he goes ahead and makes this bigger, and then white goes ahead and strengthens himself, because he's still not completely strong over there. It's also threatening to cut off these stones. So, he's respond, and then white goes ahead and pushes more into black's moyo, which is nice, I think. Because our first inclination, I think, would be to connect these stones. But this, I believe, is bigger than that. Excuse me. And then black, make sure he's connected in here. Also makes a disconnection possible right here, so white needs to connect. And then black disconnects these stones, which is very big. White also has to be careful that these stones don't die. So first, white descends with these stones, making this cut possible. So black needs to defend, and white goes ahead and goes under. So now if you look at the biggest part on the board, for black anyways, is obviously this part. So he needs to guard that. Then white makes kind of a peculiar move. He blocks right here. The reason I say it's peculiar because you would think you just want to capture the stone, because this makes a connection underneath possible. I'm not completely certain why actually he made this move. If any of you do know it, know why he made that move instead of this move, please tell me. It could be because black then has to move here. Sorry, that black has to move here in Sente, whereas he makes this. If black connects under, it's Gote. And that could be a reason why. But black goes ahead, gets rid of the Aji in the corner. And then white tries to breach into black space. Black needs to defend, white defends, and black then has to defend its cutting point. So, white did all that in Sente. So now he can go ahead, go back, make a big move, make this point nice. So black needs to defend that. And like I said, this is mostly endgame. And so I think that's about all I wanted to go over in this game. The rest of it is a little bit of a complicated endgame, and they have like a 50 move ko where they keep on going back and forth with it. So if you want to see this game, the rest of it, I advise you try to find it on somewhere like 361points.com, or if you have like a premium account on Wikipedia, they should also have it. I have the SDF file, but I don't actually remember where I got it from. So sorry about that. But yeah, if you want info on it, it shouldn't be too hard to find somewhere on Google. If I find one, I'll post a link in the description. But otherwise, yeah, you should be able to find it on Google. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I think what we can really learn from this game is not to respond too much to your opponent. That's really something that separates stronger players from weaker players, like what black did over here. Also, knowing when the right time is to get rid of Aji and stuff and to make the right move, like black did over here. Of course, there's just some brilliant things that like white did over here with his thickness and reading all of that out and being able to connect all of that. And then of course Black's red earring move, ear reddening move, I'm sorry. And then I think we can also learn that even if you're a pro, knowing Joseki is still important, because we all make mistakes in our reading, even the best of us. And then it's also just a very nice game to look at. They have a lot of tesuges and lots of stuff that just makes this game very exciting and very unique, and why it's one of the most popular games ever in history of Go. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did when I saw it first. I hope it was helpful, and if you have any questions or anything, please, or if you think I made any mistakes, which I may have, please leave a comment or send me a message. If you liked it, please subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you guys all later.